All right, welcome everybody to the Lobby Podcast. I'm here with Paul and Joey, and one thing that's been on my mind a lot this past week is how I need to kind of readjust to being back on campus. I haven't worked out in like 5 months. I haven't had to get up and go to class in a while, and I do not think that my body is ready at all to be on campus. I know Paul, you're living in the apartment already. You're kind of there. Joey, are you like even close to being ready?
I'm not at all opposed to being ready. I also wanted to say, before we really hop into this, and Jordan, you said something about how you don't have to get up for class. I just think it's funny how you think you're going to get up for class, even when we are there.
No, listen. I am a grade A student. For everybody out there listening, one of the best.
Maybe last semester. I don't know what you're talking about this year.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, maybe freshman year, not whatever's
Maybe
going on
freshman
now.
year.
Not professional student.
Imagine having to skip a class about basketball. Like who would imagine doing something like that?
Are you doing badminton this semester?
I'm not. I had to drop it because it was just some conflicts in my schedule. But bro, I was excited for it.
Didn't you pick up another class in exchange for the badminton one?
I did. It was the comm class. It's comm 100. It filled out a bunch of requirements, so I figured why not.
Oh, I took that class. It's really good. But the I guess my problem is you're on Zoom right now. So that my biggest problem is I'm on Zoom right now, and I think when I go back to school, all my classes are pretty much on Zoom anyway. I think when I go back to school, like I'm gonna get my life together. There's a lot of things I want to do. I could sit here and list all the things I want to do. I'm probably gonna get to our apartment. I'm gonna move in, and I'm gonna go to less classes I do there, like when I'm actually at school, than I do now. And I don't know how to stop it. I mean, it's just gonna happen. And Jordan, I'm gonna put money on the fact that it's gonna happen to you too. And I bet you don't even already go to your classes.
All right. I mean, that's so unfair. I'm saying the in-persons are gonna be different. I'm not used to it. I'm gonna have to walk to the science building for a 2-hour physics lab at 6 p.m. at night every week. So
Jordan, you're just not going to go. Every 6 p.m. classes you have is just going to be empty. They're going to be Jordan and Francis, and you're just not going to be there.
I feel like you guys...
Like the other night, Paul, when you decided to show up for computer programming?
Oh, yeah. I skipped class the other night, too. I was busy.
So
actually, no, wait. It was my girlfriend's birthday. What do you mean? I could have gone to the class. Not going to lie. But
the point is, I don't want to miss any classes unless I'm sick. Like I don't want to wake up on a Monday morning and be like, you know what? Mind you, my first class is at 1:25. I don't want to wake up at 1:25 and be like, oh, I really don't feel like doing this, because that means I went to bed at like 7 in the morning. My goal is to go. I want to set a bedtime. That's step one. Going back to school. If for any student ever, if you're listening to this and you're a student, you have to go to bed at a certain time, but you also have to like trust yourself to like actually go to bed at that time. I'm not going to set a bedtime for 9 p.m. and be like, all right, guys, work with me. Let's all go to bed at 9 p.m. because I've never gone to bed before 9 p.m. like ever in my life. So I'm not going to start now. I'm thinking like 4 a.m. bedtime.
I was about to say because if there's anybody in this call right now who's been talking about a bedtime, it most certainly did not need to be Joseph Dixon.
But, Joey doesn't even have like an internal clock anymore. You realize that like you don't even have like an internal like wake up go to bed time anymore. Your body's just so confused.
We had to record a podcast and I get a text saying, "Well, I'm good anytime after 10." All right, we have the whole day then.
That was busy. But I have every Tuesday and Thursday morning. I have Jordan. You were in this class before you dropped it, the CPR class.
Right. Yeah.
I have a class every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 10. My next class on Thursdays is at like 6. Like I don't have another class on Wednesday nights. Is today Wednesday?
No, it's Tuesday.
Oh, well, so probably tomorrow night, I'm going to stay up all night until that class. Like I stay up all night and I go to bed at like 12 in the afternoon. And because I stay up for the class and that's the only way I'll ever, unless I go to bed at like 3 a.m., which why would I ever do that if I've only got one class in the morning? So I stay up all night until that class, and then I get there. I trust myself to show up. I haven't skipped a class yet. I've missed like one class.
Joey, imagine if like a nursing major or like an engineering major just heard that entire spiel about your schedule. They would already hate you. They don't care as a person you are. They'd just be like,
okay,
this.
But there's a way you can fix that though. Like you can set up your schedule to make it like I'm not done on some days until like 8 o'clock at night. I chose that so I could stay up all night and then sleep all day. Like I like nocturnalness.
Joey's day gets started at like 6 p.m.
Sometimes it does, literally. Like sometimes on Sundays I wake up and it's already getting dark outside, which is it seems like a problem, but I have the same amount of hours in my day as the normal person. It's not like I sleep less or sleep more. Like I probably sleep less than the average person, but I just have different hours.
Okay, all right. Before we get into more about how Joey apparently doesn't have like any type of mental, you can't even get up before 4. Anyway, whatever. We should talk about how we can fix this problem, Joey, not enforce.
But what problem?
What do you mean what problem? You told me that you fall asleep in half the class that we have together. You're like, sorry. You text me in the middle of class and you're like, wait, I just zoned out for the last 15. What did he say? And it's just like.
Wait, that's not fair. That's only one class. And mind you, it's not lack of sleep. It's because I need I don't have an excuse for that one.
You know, exactly. And I feel like things like getting back on campus and having like a routine. Joe, are you working on campus here or no? No, actually, Joe, Paul, I heard you did too as well.
I need to.
Like, having a job, you know, like actually going to classes, working out. I feel like that would like help almost.
It keeps you on schedule, definitely.
Yeah, you know, you have to be up at a certain time. You have to go to sleep at certain times to be all right.
Exactly, and then at the very least, like if Joey does stay up till, remember that last semester or like last year when we had like Joe and I worked 7 a.m. shifts at the campus cafeteria. And we wouldn't go to bed till 5 some mornings. But then if we wouldn't go to bed till 5, we wake up at 7. That whole day just sucks. It's just horrible.
Yeah, that was
so then whether we wanted or not, we end up falling asleep by 11 that night. And then the next day when we're getting up for our 7 a.m. fry cook shift, it's actually not that bad. So like, I don't know. I feel like everyone's probably gonna have some trial and error or just things that you can't help. But in the end, it works out.
I was thinking about getting a job this semester. Now, listen to this. I'm going to campaign you the best idea I've had in a while. I am a broke boy. I don't have a lot of money. All right. I'm thinking a job where I can work 1 to 2 days a week. Right? You know, hear me out. Like you're laughing, but hear me out.
Make $20.
Exactly, bro. $20, $30 a week. You know, like that's my paycheck. And then like for every week, every weekend, whenever I want like apple juice, like cranberry juice, I have the funds. You know, like I can live my life like a little bit. Every time if I want to go out to get food every now and then, like I can dabble in places. I can do things because I have a little $20, $30 extra bonus.
When are you going to do that with soccer though? Like, see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Right now, if we sit down, make a schedule and prepare. After this podcast, I want you to know, I talked about it before the podcast a little bit. I'm going to continue to talk about it during the podcast. I'm making a schedule for my life. And it might not fit your guys' hours, but right now I've got the best grades I've ever had in my life because of the times I put my classes in. And I'm going to keep that up. It might be because my classes are the easiest they've ever been, but don't.
Besides the point, right?
That's besides the point. I'm telling you, and I'll have a slot for job or side hustle. Like that's what I want. Like I want to have hours that are filled. Like I want to be able to DoorDash. Maybe I know I'm not going to do it unless like I have like a schedule or some organization. So that's my goal. Jordan, I think you should do the same thing. Paul, I think you're relatively organized, but I don't know what
I'm not really. Yeah, I'm not really too concerned about like side hustles and jobs, but like, you know, shout out to the Home Depot. They got steady paychecks. You know, it's not a bad place to work, but wait, Jordan, so are you saying that you'd rather have like a job on campus or do you want like a side hustle that gives you a little more cash flow during the week?
I think that either would work. I think the more flexible, the better, because I don't want a job that's going to make me work 4 to 5 times a week.
No, you don't want a job that's going to make you work at all.
That's the very problem right there. Like every job that you're going to have, they're probably going to have like at least a minimum kind of requirement for hours.
I'm not thinking of it as a paycheck. I'm thinking more of as a bonus. You know what I mean?
Jordan, you're the
job
type of kid
isn't looking for some kind of extra worker.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like
a worker.
Like if I'm telling them like, hey, like, you know, I'm a college student, like, you know, like I got like going on, I play school sports, you know, like is there any way I'd be able to pick up like maybe like 1-2 days a week and like just getting a little extra money on the side? Yeah, sure. Like you look like you're very like you can do stuff, but I don't know.
You're such a driven Jordan. You're the type of kid that when you go to the gas station to fill up your tank, you don't fill up your tank. You buy like a gallon or two at a time because you have like
Jordan. He actually does that.
Jordan has like $8 in his account. Yeah, Jordan has like $8 in his account at all times, and 5 of that's gonna go towards like the dollar menu at McDonald's, and the other 3 is for gas.
I live on a hill, like it's called Banger Mountain, like where I'm at, and to get to my house, you have to either you can go around like by the highways, like by Little River, or you have to go over up like this entire like mountain kind of thing. And I gotta tell you, it's so bad on gas. It is terrible, and it is the most stressful thing in the world. Like my gas light's on, I stop at the gas station before the mountain, I put like $4 into the car, and I take my leap of faith because like there's been times when I'm telling you I almost did not make it to the other side of this mountain. Like the gas station's screaming my name, and it's just hard sometimes.
Like how it's like not this one time. There's been times where you almost haven't made it.
My little bonus from my 1-2 day job, that's what that comes into play. I'm going to be saved by the bell every time. Hey, thank God I worked on Tuesday for 5 hours and I made $11. Now I can put more gas in my car, you know?
Instead of $5, you can put $10 in your
tank. Yeah. You might be able to fill up half of your tank now. From E to half. That's a
oh my God.
You know, another thing I've been thinking about with getting back to school, I don't know if I'm prepared to. This is kind of like an underrated thing. I don't think a lot of people thought about it. So people are already on campus; they're already thinking about it. I feel like I don't know if saved is the word because of COVID, but like there's a social life that I'm expected to have while I'm on campus, and I don't know if I can maintain that as well as my grades, as well as like working out and all that kind of stuff. Because let me tell you. Like, I don't know if unmotivated is the word, but like something like that.
But point parties hit different on the weekends. That's all I'm saying. And you know what? If it's a Saturday night type thing, that means Sunday is not going to be a productive day at all. Or you're just going to be stressed all day until you do your homework at 8:00 at night.
Because we have these beautiful plans about like we're gonna like be doing well with our school, like going to the gym and working out. Hey, maybe I'm not eating healthy. Getting a job, doing all like this good stuff on campus. But I know once I get there, bro, like I'm gonna be staying up till 4 a.m. talking to people. Like, you know, I might want to go out every now and then, like doing it's stuff like that.
Right now, right, or not even during this podcast, but maybe even immediately after, if we take an opportunity to literally write down. Chris did it. Our roommate Chris, for everybody listening, all the millions of people listening. Our roommate Chris, literally last semester, took a piece of paper, put down on that piece of paper every single one of his classes, and he had hour blocks, and then he would have times for homework. He would have times for. That's so genius.
And you know what the thing was? Chris was down so bad in like those last couple weeks of the semester, like when all the finals were creeping up, and he had like 7 classes or something ridiculous. And then he just kind of sat down one day and he was like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything else except get my grades up. And then he just I don't know. Shout out to him. He did a really good job.
Big shout out because he pulled himself out of a vicious gutter. I mean, it was so bad. He got accepted to transfer to main campus. Little Chris hype up time. He got accepted to go to main campus against all odds. I mean, there was a point last semester where I didn't even think he was going to be allowed to like continue going to school, and now he's like transferring success.
I think Chris, bro, I give him a lot of credit. I think like I'd love to do some of the things he did last semester because like it was good for him.
So let's do it.
I just couldn't, you know, like it was a lot.
But see, that's the reason where it was like it was probably pretty hard to do because everyone else would be leaving or going out and they'd be like, Chris, you coming? And he'd be like, no, I'm gonna do my 3 hours of chem homework in my room by myself until 12, but then he'd still be asleep by 12:45. And he'd be up in time to take his final the next morning. Like, it's just it would suck, but I would rather take having the good grades now and missing out on this and that isn't really going to matter, where it's going to pay off in the end.
When you have it all written down, like right in front of you, I think that is the most genius thing you can do. I think the smartest people all have some kind of planner. And as long as we don't have some kind of planner, that's why you guys called me crazy for this over the summer. I wanted just like a life manager or a life coach. And you guys all laughed. I still want it to this day. I still want that manager. I'm going to get a manager. I'm going to have some kind of income someday to where I have somebody managing my life, because it's so useful saying just somebody there to say, like, you have to do this at this time. I'll be like, okay, let's do it. If I had that, even if it's myself or like a friend, like having a schedule saying like at this time I need to be here, and if we write it down, we can all help each other out. I think if any college student, like I said earlier, is listening to this, if you take anything from this podcast, write things down. I think it's the most.
100%.
It's a cheat code. It's such a cheat code.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
Human cheat code. I think the best investment you can make before like moving into a place that isn't your own house, like that you've lived through all of high school, is a whiteboard. I have this little 2x2 whiteboard just like hanging on my wall, and that thing has probably saved me like a million times. Because whatever, you just jot down little ideas. Like if you have a little note, like, okay, whatever, it could be as simple as doing the laundry later. Like make sure the laundry's done so you have a dress shirt for tomorrow's mock interview. Or it could be like exam at 3 p.m. on Friday. And if whatever, it's 2:15, you're just laying there and you feel like you're forgetting something, it's on your whiteboard. You're done. Boom. Saved.
Exactly.
It's like a almost assistant, like Joey's talking about.
It's nice to hear and it's nice to say. But the thing is, we're all looking at each other right now. We're all feeling so into it. Let's do it. Let's go get our lives together. The eye contact I just made through the screen with Jordan, if that had words, it's oh well, as soon as this podcast is over, I'm gonna stay up until 7 a.m, which is totally fine as long as it's on your schedule. But I'm not gonna have a schedule. I have a class at 1. I'll probably wake up at 1:24, try to find a way to keep hitting the snooze button every 5 minutes on an alarm that I have for the class. But that's just, if I write it down, and after this podcast, if we all agree to write it down, how much better. Or before we go back to school, if that's what this episode is about, going back to school, before we go back to school, if we get on a Zoom call and do this.
Genius. One problem I've had, which I guess is not really a problem, I think that school's going to be a solution for it, because I think for example, going to the gym back in the fall, I think it was nice to have like you guys to go with me all the time, because it's a little bit of like a motivation. So when I'm by myself, like it's just like, I don't really want to, I don't have time, like I can't right now. But like if I have people like pushing me to go, for example, Paul, like the other weekend wanted me to go with him to the gym. Like, I was being lazy. That's besides the point. I didn't go with him. But like it's nice to have people to go with. It's something to push you. I think right now being at home, there's so many, for example, working out. I told myself, like, it's New Year's, I'm gonna work out every day. Like my New Year's resolution, I'm gonna start like lifting even when I'm at home. But like now that it passed, I didn't really get started with that. And it's more of like when I get back to school, it's all starting. I get better with my grades. I'm gonna start working out. I might get a job. I'm gonna eat well. Like all this stuff's gonna start happening. And I don't know if it's more helping me for when I get back, or it's just making it worse for right now, because I'm not starting any of that stuff until I get back. That's just kind of a mindset I have. Don't know if it's a healthy one, but I'm excited to be back. I think it'll help me with my daily routine.
And this is branching off what you just said about this is going back to school, like your mindset is going back to school. I think all you have to do is 20 minutes in one day to make a conscious decision. I think it'll completely change your mindset if you have it written down, because right now you don't have like any type of I need to be here at this time. You're just kind of freeballing it. If you low key, bro, I'm being so serious right now, like outside the podcast, it'll change your life. And I know that without even doing it. I think if we should all low key link though and figure out what workout times are the best. Because if we can all pick a time that, hey, like at this point in the day, I'm supposed to be working out, and all of ours line up, like we need to set a time for the podcast working out, it'll help us out so much. Like what you said, like helping each other go to the gym, like telling each other whenever. But yeah, I think if you start now, I think being able to take that over, it'll help you so much.
Even with the littlest things, like if you start with a little thing, it'll kind of like snowball. And so by the time you're here, Like let's say you even like you get up in the morning and go for a run before your first class. Like that's kind of whatever. But then by the time you get back to school, it'll be almost like you're missing part of your day if it's like semi-regular. So then you'll need that form of like physical activity to just kind of get going. Or there's like a dedicated time for studying. Same concept with that. If you do a little bit each day, then every day that you don't do it feels out of place. So you almost like want to do it. I don't know. That's kind of I feel like. Because if I don't go to the gym at this rate, it just feels goofy. Like my whole day is kind of like off. And then I'm just looking forward to the next time I can go.
And we all need to do it too. Like, it's not like, I'm not pointing you, I'm also hyping myself up, like to kind of do it. I'm not like trying to say like you need to do it, but it just is just what you said. It's just like brushing your teeth though. Like habits of brushing your teeth. When I got to school the first time, like my freshman year, it was so weird for me to get like a routine going, like brushing my teeth and everything. It took a while to really start that up. But I think if I start now and just find a different place to sleep, I know it'll be different, but I think we can do it.
For sure. Shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, well, all right. Thank you guys for listening to the Lobby Podcast. We're moving in this weekend. Hopefully everybody gets there safe. So let's get a little bit of snow, but tune in next week and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening.